Hi everybody, I'm Ripski, again, doing some drunken boxing. I got a lot of different messages on YouTube asking me to do different things. Hopefully I'll be able to address some of those concepts. Today we're going to get a little bit more into the actual drunken side of things. All of the other lessons have been fundamentals and basics, things you absolutely cannot do without anyway. Working on standing tall like the monkey, keeping the spine straight, understanding verticality, the stepping form, all the kicks, all that kind of good stuff. So today we're going to start on some drunken body awareness drills. First thing we're going to do is balance drills. So balance in drunken boxing is really, really important. Without good balance in awkward positions, well, basically you're just of no use. It's just that simple. If you do a technique on somebody and you're in a strange position, and if a feather will knock you over, it's no good for combat. So there's a couple of very simple balance drills that you have to work on and drill to be able to make sense of it all. So the first one we'll do is actually from a friend of mine who trained in Beijing. So it's pretty simple. I'll do it towards the camera and then I'll do it sideways. What you're going to do is create your drunken cut fist, which I believe we covered before, where you make the fist and imagine you're holding the teacup. Bring a 45-degree bend into the arm. And then you're going to step into a cat stance. Okay, basic drunken posture. What you're going to do here is you're going to reach down with your opposite. So this is my left leg. My right hand is going to reach down to my left foot. Just like this. Bring your weight forward and then lift yourself up. Now you're going to change and swing the leg and the arm in opposition and then come back down to the opposite cat. Down we go, step forward, lifting, swinging. Okay? We'll do it sideways here. You want to do this as slow as you can handle it, as well as fast as you can handle it. That way you understand your body, you get some body awareness, and you're also working on speed and power at the same time, being able to twist your spine. So again, my left foot's forward, reach down with my right hand, come forward, lift, swing, touch back down. Down to the floor, pick up your glass of wine, come forward, lift, swing, back down. And you just walk around your room like this. Doesn't really matter how, okay? Easy enough. Second balance drill is lift the barrel, the big famous one that everybody's seen in drunken boxing. And all you do here is take your horse, grab your barrel, and bend over backwards as best you can. At first you use this as a strength training drill, as well as a balance drill, because it's not an easy stance to do. And you just want to bring yourself back. Notice my hips moving forward. Okay, I'm not trying to stay straight. I'm bringing my big fat head backwards because I'm going to fall over. Hips come forward, okay, while my arms go back. And you want to flatten your chest out till it's table-like. Okay, very, very important. Don't end up here. I see this all the time. It's not the stance. Hips forward, knees forward, back starts to bend, table on the chest, and then reach out behind you. Over and over. And if you go nice and slow, you can find your limits. Now if you find your limits, you're going to find falling forward or starting to fall backward. When you're doing drunken boxing, you want to make sure that your limits are completely under control. Push everything in your training right to the edge of where you're going to fall forward, right to the edge of where you're going to fall backward. And what will happen is over time, your limits will expand. You'll notice that there's certain tricks you can do with your hips and waist to maintain, not verticality, but maintain a center of gravity. The hips are major in this, especially in the whole style. When I reach forward, for instance, and I do this, I can't be trying to bend over, okay? I'm obviously going to fall. I need to make sure my hips are reversing that momentum. And the same in the back one, okay? You see this in all of the different drinks, all of the different punches, right? And weird stuff like this. It's all about hips, middle dantian, okay? You can't train enough balance. You can't. Nobody does. So another one, if you remember the three cannons, When we do our top cannon, this one here, really maintain a twist. Try to get your hips over. Try to get your head over as far as you can. And in this one, you use your opposite knee as a balance drill. So this knee, instead of staying straight with you, as you try this, let it come out. Let it come out so you can feel how far you can go before you start to lose it, okay? And again, push it. Lose it a few hundred times until you know where you can stand, okay? And then come back up without any problem. Balance, very important. On the same vibe, we've got rocking and swaying. And before we start rocking and swaying, we should talk about different parts of the body and how they're referred to in Chinese martial arts. We're going to talk about dantian. And I think I've talked about it before in the videos, but dantian, which means elixir field or yellow courtyard or whatever you want to make it sound really cool and esoteric. It's basically an area of your body. We usually envision a sphere at dantian. Everybody talks about dantian here below your navel. That's lower dantian. In Drunken, we use all three. So there's the lower, the middle, which is your heart, and the upper, which is in your head. Now, what I mean by we use it is we use them as places to put our mind in order to understand our balance and how our body's twisting. So, when we do rocking and swaying, what we're doing really is working with each of the dantians. Definitely the lower one, definitely the upper one. And the middle one sort of goes along for the ride most of the time. So, rocking means rocking the hips. So if I'm just in a nice, easy, neutral stance, I try to maintain my head space, this place here, okay? And I try to get my hips to move around while I keep my head in place. Now this can get really extreme as you get more flexible and you get better balance. And again, push your limits. So if I'm really going to push my limits, I got to see how far I can get over here before I can't even move anymore. And then try to move in that place, okay? Rocking. Very, very simple technique. Make sure you train it both directions, okay? Try to keep the head straight. Otherwise, you know, you look foolish anyway. Head or upper dantian becomes your anchor point, okay? Swaying is the opposite. Lower dantian becomes your anchor point. Same stance. Upper and middle dantian now are going to rotate around this. So the swaying is swaying the upper body. And you can see that down here, I'm not moving very much. I mean a little bit, right? But not too much. Not too much. That's swaying. You see this a lot in Drunken where people are dodging techniques, throwing different techniques back out, okay? Rocking and swaying. Now, when you've got both of them, they're simple, then you start adding a little bit of movement. So, if I go back to rocking, I imagine my head space. Give yourself a little bit of leeway, right? It's not here. A little bit of leeway. And back up so you guys can see my feet. What I want to do now is I want to walk around my head space. So if my head space is here, I'm going to just walk around it, rocking my hips. And I'm not doing any special steps here, just walking around, trying to see what I can do to control my body. Okay? Very important that you understand this, and you understand when you're falling and when you're not. If I do this, how do I do this on YouTube? If I do this and I start to fall, I'm doing it wrong. Drunken boxing never falls without it being its entire idea, okay? It looks like it's falling. That's the deception. So I should look like I'm falling into each of these steps. But if I want to stop one of these steps, I should be able to, okay? If you can't, straighten up, start small, okay? This is just as good a training. I've just done Drunken boxing a little longer, that's all. So I can get a little bit bigger and dumber looking. Okay? That's why I'm rocking. Swaying, same thing. We should be able to move our body, and we should be able to try to keep our lower dantian in sort of the same space. This one looks a little bit strange. Okay? You end up with very small steps with lots of body movement on the top of them. Okay? And I'm just trying to maintain an ability to stay up in a difficult situation. The last part is when you do both together. Keep middle dantian in the middle. So you can see my head and lower dantian both moving. Hope that makes sense. Thanks a lot.